Hello, this is Lucilla. Today, with Alessandro, Clarissa, Anna, and Feyang, we're going to analyze the Turkish problem to our new boss. And this is just a test, a sort of rehearsal. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Clarissa will make a little presentation of Europe, its values, ideologies, its identity. Then Alessandro will give us some information on Turkey, so that we know something about the country on which we're going to discuss. Then we will go on to the central theme, after I illustrate and describe the criteria of entering the EU. The central question of our presentation is: should Turkey be a part of the European Union?
Hi, I'm Clarissa, and I'm going to talk firstly about the European Union, so you can understand more about what kind of organization we are dealing with. The European Union is a supranational organization, not an international one. It can make laws, and has its own as they have its own legal system, and apply them in all states, so that makes this law compulsory. Actually, for this reason, it's law-abiding, and they can exceed the ones of the single nation. The organization that is at the origin of the UE was created in the aftermath of the Second World War, with the aim of promoting economic cooperation, starting from the principle that trade between countries produces economic interdependence that reduces the risk of conflicts. In 1958, the European Economic Community was created with the initial objective of intensifying economic cooperation between 6 countries: Italy, Germany, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. The European Union was really formed after the Treaty of Maastricht of 1982 and the following one of Lisbon in 2009. These treaties allowed for a cooperation never seen between the European states. Majority voting was introduced, the role of President of the European nation was created, and a legally binding human rights charter was created.
Okay, but maybe our boss needs to know about all the institutions that Europe has, because in this way he can manage better and divide the work.
Yeah, sure, but maybe we had to discuss the Turkish problem first.
Just do it, Clarissa. He doesn't even know how the European Union works.
The European Union has different bodies that compose it. The first one is the Council of Ministers, which holds the legislative power. It makes laws on the majority voting, and the ministers that have a seat in this body only respond to their specific national parliaments. Each country has votes according to its population, so the bigger the state is, the more it has voting power. Then there is the European Council, which is the collective head of a state, made by the heads of the member states. It is a president of this commission, and its aim is to define the general political direction and priorities of the whole union. There is where the impetus of the UE is created, like the expansion, the European army, and the fiscal union. After that, there is the Commission, which holds the executive power and has the function of the government. Then we have the European Parliament, which is composed by 750 parliamentarians, which takes decisions on laws with the Council, and more importantly, it approves the UE budget. In the end, there is the Court of Justice, which checks and judges every law that is published and enacted. Thanks. Maybe now I can talk about our principles.
Yes, sure. Go ahead. That's indeed a good presentation. Well done.
The European Union is based on different principles. The most important ones are the principle of subsidiarity, that consists of the delegation of responsibility to the lower levels of institutions that at the highest levels can concentrate on a major and more general problems. It also founded on the principle of democracy, like the rule of law. All its power rests on treaties freely and democratically signed by the UE countries. Then we have the respect of human rights. Human dignity is inviolable. It must be respected and protected, and constitutes the very basis of the fundamental rights. As we said before, human dignity is explained in the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union, which protects human rights, including the right not to be discriminated against on the basis of sex, race, disability, age, ethnic origin, or belief. the right to protection of personal data, and the right of access to justice. In this point, we also have equality. That means granting all citizens the same rights before the law. The principle of equality between men and women underpins all European policies and is the element on which European integration is based. In the end, we can find the freedom, which can be of two types: freedom of movement, which gives citizens the right to move and reside freely in the European Union, and individual freedom, such as respect for private life, freedom of thought, religion, assembly, expression, and information, and that both of them are protected by the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the UN. All these principles must be respected at all costs, and every new member state that wants to enter the European Union must protect them, as all the states members do right now.
So, hello everyone, I'm Alessandro Amedeo Ferretti, and I'd like to make a general presentation of Turkey. So, I'm going to answer to the question, what is Turkey? Turkey is officially called the Republic of Turkey. It's a country located mainly on the Anatolian Peninsula in Western Asia. It has a very central and strategic position, and it has a very high population of about 85 million people and a density of 110 people per square kilometer. So a very high density. Now I'd like to speak about Turkish politics and history. We can say that Turkey has a very long history because naturally it was a fertile area. Indeed, it has been a very disputed area. Actually, many people have inhabited this area: Greeks, Romans, Persians, etc. But I only will speak about the modern history and politics of this peninsula. Actually, after the Turkish War of Independence and the abolition of the Sultanate on 1st November 1922, on July 24, 1923, the Republic was proclaimed. And with the reforms initiated by the country's first president, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, that we can see in the image, Turkey became a secular, unitary and parliamentary republic. With the founding of the republic, Turkey adopted a civil law based on Swiss code, a criminal code based on German and Italian criminal code, and an administrative law based on the French equivalent. So we can say that it has a very modern constitution, very modern laws, and Turkey has adopted the principle of the separation of powers. So everything we can say that is regulated by Turkish constitution. And another very important thing is that the symbol of the constitution of the Turkey Republic is the pigeon. So now I'm going to speak about Erdogan's government and problems about Turkey's entering the European Union. And so I will speak about the Erdogan government and what are the reforms that he has done during his government. So in August 2014, Erdogan won Turkish first direct presidential election. And on 15 July 2016, an unsuccessful coup attempt tried to oust the government. But as a reaction to the failed coup d'etat, the government carried out mass purges. He started to jail journalists and it shut down media outlets. In April 2016, the constitutional amendments, which we can say significantly increased the powers of Turkish president, so Erdogan, were narrowly accepted in the constitutional referendum. In June 2018, Erdogan was re-elected for a new 5 years term. And after 2014, this way in independence, we can say, and integrity of Turkish judiciary system became less independent. The Turkey in 2015, the Turkey report of the European Commission state that the independence of the judiciary and respect of the principle of separation of powers have been underminated and judges and prosecutors have been under strong political pressure. In addition, we have to say that the human rights record of Turkey has been the subject of many controversy and international condemnation. And between 1959 and 2011, the European Court of Human Rights made more than 2,400 judgments against Turkey for human rights violation on issues such as Kurdish rights, women's rights, LGBT rights, and media freedom. So Turkish human rights record continues to be a significant obstacle to the country's membership of the European Union. So now I'll talk about Turkish economy. So since the liberalization of the Turkish economy in the 80s, the country has enjoyed stronger economic growth and greater political stability. Turkey, we can say that it is classified as a newly industrialized country with a geopolitically strategic location. Its economy, which is classified among the emerging and growth leading economies, is the 20th largest in the world by nominal GDP and the 11th largest by PPP. That is the purchasing power parity, that is the rate of currency conversion that tries to equalize the purchasing power of different currencies by eliminating the differences in price levels between countries. So, as we can see, Turkey is one of the emerging 7 countries, and according to the World Bank estimates that Turkey's GDP per capita by PPP is 38,659 in 2022, and approximately 11.7 of Turks are at risk of poverty or social exclusion as of 2019. Unemployment in Turkey was 14.6 in 2019, and the middle class population in Turkey rose from 18 to 41% of the total population between 1993 and 2010, according naturally the World Bank. Now I put a graph, and as we can see, the economy of Turkey is based on cars production, on the exportation of raw iron bars, and petroleum. Very important is the production of jewelry and insulated wire and other furniture in general, and rubber tires. And very important is even the exportation of nuts, citrus, so flour. And it is very important the production of knit t-shirts or not knit women's suits. So it has very strong economy in general. We can say a very rich economy, even though it isn't one of the highest in the world. Now I'm going to talk about Turkey from an international point of view and its relationship with Europe. We can say that it is well inserted in international context. Actually, in addition to being an early member of NATO, and Turkey is a charter member of the United Nations, of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and a founding member of the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OSCE, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the BCEC, the Organization of the Black Sea Economic Cooperation, the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OTS, the Organization for Tropical Studies, that is a non-profit consortium of about 50 universities, colleges, and research institutions, and the G20. From the relation with Europe, we can say that Turkey applied for full membership of the European Economic Community in 1987 and joined the European Union customs union in 1995 and started a chess negotiation with the European Union in 2005. We can say in a non-binding vote of 14 March 2019, the European Parliament called on the EU governments to suspend European Union accession talks with Turkey, citing violation of human rights and the rule of law, but the negotiation effectively on since 2018 remain active as of 2022. In the end, I'm going to speak about the culture of Turkey and its values. Turkey, we can say that it has a very diverse culture that is blend of various elements of Turkic, Anatolian, Byzantine, Ottoman, and even from the Western culture and traditions. Turkish culture is a product of efforts to be modern, similar so to Western states, while same time maintaining traditional religious and historical values. Turkish culture also influenced European art and fashion, particularly during the period of the 16th to the 18th century, to the peak of Ottoman power. This phenomenon is also called Turkery. It is also important to note that cultural practices, social attitudes, and lifestyles vary significantly across the country, that are substantially different between localities, regions, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and even from education. Nevertheless, Turks are generally united by a strong national identities. And they also share certain core values, as for example, sense of honor, hospitality, and neighborliness.
Sure, what I get at first glance is that Turkey seems too different from Europe. Okay, whatever. I will now present the criteria for entering the EU. So Anna and Feyan can begin their presentation that will be a sort of debate. To join the European Union, the application is not enough, but the required criteria must be met, which are to have a reliable market economy, to have a stable democracy, and to respect the rules of a state. In particular, it is necessary to respect the fundamental values of EU, such as Article 2, human dignity, freedom, equality, and respect for a society characterized by pluralism, non-discrimination, and equality between women and men. After that, it is necessary for the Commission to assess the candidate country's ability to meet the requirement criteria. If a positive opinion occurs, negotiation will begin, sector by sector. The required criteria were set during the European Council in Copenhagen, held in 1993, and those are political stability and respect for the principle of democracy, protection of human rights and minorities, have a market economy, and make commitments related to membership. Now, Anna and Feyan, it is your turn. Who wants to start?
The process should begin. You are for the entry of Turkey, Anna, right?
Yeah, sure. I think that letting Turkey be part of the European Union is actually a win-win situation, because since the Union became a stronger, internationally affirmed entity, becoming a member state would bring Turkey multiple benefits. First of all, the euro has eliminated the costs of exchange rate fluctuations within the euro area, protecting consumers and businesses from costly swings in currency markets. Indeed, before the euro, the need to exchange currencies meant extra costs, risks, and a lack of transparency in transaction between countries. Therefore, using a single currency makes doing business and investing much easier. Moreover, by making it easy to compare prices, the euro encourages trade and investment between countries. Other advantages we can see are that the ease with which prices can be compared between countries boosts competition between businesses. There's more price stability and improved economic stability, but also the euro made it possible for European countries to have greater influence in the global economy. Last but not least, it represents a tangible sign of a European identity. Many of these benefits are interconnected. For example, economic stability is good for a member country's economy, as it enables the government to plan for the future. But economic stability also benefits businesses by reducing uncertainty and encouraging investment. This benefits the people as well, as it results in increased employment and better quality jobs. Moreover, the European Union is a territory of peace and security. Indeed, we all know it was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2012 as the most successful peace project in human history.
What are the benefits of a single market?
Well, thanks to Europe's single market, citizens can live or work in a European country, move their money, sell goods, and provide services on the same basis. With the 27 member countries working together, there's much more voice than 27 nations acting separately. The European Union promotes cooperation and collaboration among European countries and provides a shared identity for its member states. Moreover, the European Union plays a paramount role when it comes to diplomacy, promoting security and prosperity, but also stability, fundamental freedoms, and democracy on an international level.
Yes, but if Turkey wanted to be part of the EU to raise the economy, now it doesn't have this need. It's been 80 years that Turkey wants to be accepted in the EU. Okay, so at the beginning it wanted to be accepted in the first union that was the CEE, but at that time its request was rejected because its economy was underdeveloped. However, Alessandro said that since the liberalization of the Turkish economy in the 1980s, the country has enjoyed stronger economic growth and greater political stability, and actually it is the 19th largest economy in the world. As a consequence, it doesn't need to enter the EU to show its important position on the global market. Talking about this, we have also to talk about the economic problems that the EU is having economically. So the economic policies aren't as efficient as they thought, and the economic interdependence is not always a good thing, as we can see from Greece. And also, I don't think that the fact that Europe was awarded the Nobel Prize is a reason for which Turkey should want to enter the EU. This should be a reason for which Europe doesn't want Turkey in the European Union. European Union values peace and rejects violence. From this point, we can add that the fact that clearly Turkey and Europe don't share the same values. As a consequence, cooperation and collaboration wouldn't be easy, and the aim of Europe is not reached. Europe is an organization that brings together 27 member countries that share the same values, in which each country can learn from the differences of other countries. Because they don't share the same values, both countries shouldn't want Turkey to be in Europe.
Okay, well then, what about enlargement? As stated in the European Union Commission report, enlargement is one of the European Union's most powerful policy tools. It serves the European Union's strategic interests in stability, security, and conflict prevention. For this reason, giving full membership to Turkey could turn out to be extremely beneficial, as it would make the European Union stronger with a significantly larger international influence. The accession of Turkey is different from previous enlargements, as we all know, because of Turkey's large population size, geographical location, cultural and religious characteristics of Turkey, and its military potential. On a more symbolic point of view, we can also say that taking Turkey in would mean Europe is open to the Islamic world. Moreover, its geographical location would allow Europe to build a bridge between the East and the West, which is very important when it comes to policy and politics and diplomacy. Turkish membership can add an important set of diplomatic, political, and cultural tools into the European Union's external relations, therefore broadening the European Union's external relations and enhancing the credibility of its policies. Moreover, According to what Prime Minister Erdogan stated in 2004, there are several important assets that Turkey can offer to the European Union foreign and security policy. For example, Turkey's accession to the European Union would lead to an extended European neighbourhood policy. Turkey would become a geographical hub for regional cooperation and a secure energy transport hub for oil and gas from the Middle East and Russia for the European Union.
Yes, but this is Europe's point of view. From Turkey's point of view, this is another reason for which Turkey should remain neutral, as Alessandro said before. Geopolitically strategic location. As time passed, Turkey has improved its relationship with the Middle East, so it can be a mediator. We can see from the chart below that the growth towards the Middle East by region is a lot more than the export towards the European Union, and that the export towards the Middle East has increased as compared to the export towards the EU. Also, the Turkish government is trying to increase collaboration and cooperation with the countries of Middle East. For these reasons, Turkish is an ideal position to become a strategic player in the region. So, it could take advantage of this point and not take any part, in this way keeping the trade with both parts. This would lead to an improvement of relations, also with the US for being a mediator between US and Middle East countries.
Okay, I agree with you, but if you enter the European Union, you'll have 27 allies, while if you remain neutral, you have no one actually.
But I don't need to. And Europe doesn't need to have Turkey as an ally either. Turkey isn't in European territory, but most of it is in Asia. For this reason, accepting Turkey means that the European Union should also consider letting in other countries which aren't in Europe territory. Also, Turkey is a very large territory, so if it entered the European Union, it will become the predominant country.
Well, I see what you're saying, but seeing that Turkey is a big emerging country, as Alessandro said, Turkey's accession to the European Union would also bring major changes into the European Union's economy. According to the World Bank report on gross domestic product from 2012, with $789 million GDP, Turkey is the 17th largest country in the world. Even though Turkey's economy and politics were unstable in the past, after the 2001 economic crisis, Turkey has entered a transition period, open to foreign investment and creating more international trade. On a more important note, Turkey achieved sustainable growth and macroeconomic stability and became a stronger country over the years. Another economic effect that Turkey will have in Europe is the increase of trade between Turkey and the other member states. Moreover, it will be possible for the European Union to have access to markets that were previously difficult to enter and will attain new economic potentials. Furthermore, the cheap and skilled Turkish workforce, along with the low rates in Turkey's production costs, can enable the European Union to stand competition from markets such as China.
I don't agree with you on this point either. Even though Turkey has assisted a big rise in economy, it can be stated that it remains an underdeveloped country. Moreover, Turkey's wealth is not equally distributed. This makes its economical situation even more difficult. As a consequence, Europe shouldn't let it in, because it would affect the economical situation in Europe. Moreover, you mentioned the energy market. From Turkey's point of view, this could be a point to exploit to obtain more status. Especially in this period, we know that one important point to achieve for European Union would be the independence of energy from Russia for energy and the fossil fuel transit. Certain EU states want to build gas pipelines running through Turkey. In this way, Turkey could establish a link with the European Union, but it could acquire important decision-making power on transit, so more status, and we can say so more status in the world. On the other hand, from European point of view, I think that I can add a point that is the fundamental reason for which Turkey hasn't become a state member of European Union. cultural reason. As I said, it's clear that Turkey and Europe don't share the same values. Turkey's culture, history, and religion is too different from European countries. From Turkey's point of view, its political freedom would be limited. As we said before, entering the European Union means accepting the European Union to be supranational, so it means that they have to obey, we can say that, the decisions that the European Union makes. Otherwise, they would lose their reputation or they would be brought to the European Court of Justice. But when Alessandro talked about the general situation in Turkey, we learned that Turkish political orientation is a bit different from the European one. And from Europe's point of view, it's the same. Incompatibility on ideology and differences on cultural level are insurmountable obstacles.
I think that I'm convinced by Fayyan. I used to stick with Hannah. I thought that the energy market of Turkey was important for Europe, and I agreed with Anna that from a more symbolic point of view, taking Turkey in would mean Europe is open to Islamic world, because maybe not accepting Turkey could mean not accepting differences. So the EU would become a sort of aristocracy. However, I completely agree with Fayyan on the fact that Turkey is too different. And most importantly, we don't share the same values. And it's too difficult for Turkey to sustain and promote our values and applying them to its people. Moreover, if we accept Turkey, we're accepting a dictatorship. Would this mean that we are valuing dictatorship, censorship, and limitation of liberty over human rights and dignity? No, we are convinced. What we are doing and our ideology are those who are meaningful to us for a better world. So we have to fight for them, and we would not allow other people to destroy them just to obtain some economic advantage.